Today, I'm going to share with you about free education opportunities in Europe. And I will answer another question related to that. Should I go with this free education in Europe, or should I apply fully funded scholarships instead of going for the free education in Europe? Welcome everyone to the full funded programs with the EBM. So, I usually advise people on looking for education opportunities around the world. Today I'm here to encourage you to access and use the opportunities for free education. And most of these ones are in Europe. How does it work? How is it free? Is there something called free in this world? Trust me, yes. There are some countries around the world have the free education policy. For instance, Scandinavian countries, Norway, Finland, Denmark, Sweden. If you go to those countries, to the public universities, you apply and get admission, there is no tuition and fees to everyone, whether you are a citizen of that particular country, whether you are immigrant international student, they don't care. There is no tuition and fees for the public universities. There are countries in Europe which are not part of the Scandinavian, like Germany, for instance, have also free education for most of the public universities in Germany. There is no tuition and fees. Absence of tuition and fees gives a lot of opportunities for international students to go to study in these countries. There is a catch. I want to help you so that you can understand. These are not scholarships. That means they give you free tuition and fees. You don't pay zero. When it comes to the living expenses, room and board is on your own. That's how it is. But you might ask me, how do I go ahead and manage to cover the living expenses? Let me give you an example of the United States. When you see international student is coming to the United States with a full ride, full scholarship, in the United States we have what we call assistantships, graduate assistantships, meaning you are admitted and you are going to support the department with academic related work. Either it can be through research, can it be through teaching, can it be doing some academic work or departmental work. Then you don't pay tuition and fees, and they are going to give you what is called the allowance or stipend for you to be able to cover room and board, the living expenses. And you are allowed to work 20 hours per week in the department to be able to be paid. So that has no difference with you going to study in Norway. You don't pay tuition and fees, and you are given a work permit to find a job on campus, off campus. And if you find a job, you'll be able to work 20 hours per week again and be able to cover your living expenses. It is the same thing. In the US, when they give you assistantship, it's a guarantee from day one you have a job, and they don't charge you tuition and fees. But in most of the free education countries in Europe, you don't pay tuition and fees, which just like here, but instead of the department to guarantee to give you the job, they give you a work permit, whether you can work on campus or off campus is up to you. And trust me, there are so many jobs you'll be able to get, which will pay the same stipend like the amount you'll be able to get while you are on the graduate assistantships. So, it is easier to apply as self-financing student to a free education country like Norway, Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Germany, wherever. It is easier that way. Because if you apply self-financing, you meet the requirements, they will admit you because they know they don't cover anything, and then you can be able to work. But in order to go to those countries, you have to be able to prove that you have the money to cover your living expenses. Unlike the graduate assistantship in the US, if you have the graduate assistantship, you'll have a letter from the department saying they will be able to give you that money. So you don't need to show the bank statement. But if you apply as a free education in those countries, you'll have to show the bank statement. But the countries, German is different from other Scandinavian countries. In other Scandinavian countries, like in Norway, you have to show about 10 to 12,000 US dollar on your bank. But it's not your bank in your own country. They want that money to be in the bank account in Norway. But majority of us, or majority of you, don't have bank account in Norway. So if you don't have a bank account in Norway, what should you do? You need to do one thing. You have to deposit that 12,000 US dollar into the bank account in school. They'll give you the bank account of the school. You deposit that bank money in the bank account. The university will give you the bank statement that will be able to cover the living expenses. They'll give you admission, work permit information, and everything. Then you are going to apply for the visa. Once you go to Norway, you will open now the bank in Norway. Then the university will transfer the full amount back to your account. So if you borrowed the money, maybe you had 4,000 US dollar and someone borrowed you 8,000, you'll be able to send back the 8,000 from the other people and you remain with 4,000, and then you'll have the work, you'll be able to start your life in Norway as an international student. But that is different in German. That's why I want to put the separate between the Scandinavian and German. In Germany, yes, it's free. You are allowed to have a bank statement, but again, you have to deposit into the bank account of the university. But they deposit in what is called the blocked account. The blocked account is this one. When you go to German, they are not going to give all the money as a lump sum at once. They are not returning all the money back to you through a direct deposit. No. They will be giving you the money each month, maybe 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, because it's 12 months. They give you each month 1,000, so you need to have 12,000 US dollar. So if you borrow the money from someone and you expect to get all money back to pay that person, if you go to Germany, you'll be having difficulties because they don't pay back the full lump sum at once. But in Scandinavia, you'll be able to do that. So my advice will be the same. Despite the fact that you are applying for these assistantships, for scholarships fully funded, think also about applying for free education. You will not pay tuition and fees. Find a way to start the money to pay for the bank statement. Trust me, once you are there, you will be able to work and you will be able to cover your living expenses. Just like if you were having assistantship in the US, you will be working to the department and they will give you 1,200 or 1,400. You will be able to make the same amount of money if you find a job off campus or on campus and be able to sustain your life. Any question up to that moment, put on the comment here. I'll be able to come back and respond to your comments. Apart from that, remember to share this video to other people, even if you are not the one looking